Evening everyone, welcome back to the channel. This video is just going to be a review of sorts, or my honest opinion on BJJ Fanatics from a master's level white belt perspective. I'm 37 now, and BJJ Fanatics is probably what's going to bridge the gap for me, training twice a week, trying to remember techniques and stuff like that. So stay tuned if anyone is interested in content like this. Now back to the situation, everyone. As I said, I'm 37, family man, 2 kids, and I just don't have the time to be training like the young guys and girls 4 or 5 times a week. Maximum I train 3 times, usually it's twice, so I have to fill the memory gaps somehow. So, and as we all know, once you go on the mats and once you leave the mats, the amount of information you retain is minuscule if you're fucking lucky. But saying that, BJJ Fanatics has started to bridge the gap for me. Like the stuff that you will learn in class, you mightn't remember most of it, as I just said. But saying that, you can go and you can get a structured plan, the likes of Bernardo Ferra's Foundations of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That is an excellent piece of material for any white belt, especially a master's level white belt or a family person that doesn't have a lot of time to train. This will bridge the gap immensely, because most of the stuff that you're going to do as a beginner white belt will be covered here, so you can just go back and search whatever you were doing in class, and Bernardo Ferra is going to be covering it in this. There must be about 6 or 7 volumes. It is a massive amount of information. So that will help immensely for any master's level, family man, family woman, whatever your situation is, whatever amount of time you have. You might have 2 days, 3 days, 1 day to train. This will help you retain information, and if you can't drill at home, at least you'll be able to study techniques. Also, to throw in with that, there is a solo drilling series by John Danaher on it as well. It is free, everyone, so it is an easy recommendation to pick up. This is the sort of stuff you can do at home in your own time. He goes over shrimping, he goes over power shrimping, he goes over how to bridge properly, all the basic fundamental movements in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It'll just help you get a leg up when you are not training, when you can't get to the mats. It'll help you with the basics, basically. Like, everyone needs to shrimp to escape, everyone needs to bridge and roll to escape. We need to know this material. So for that, it is excellent for a beginner, especially like myself. Now the Bernardo Ferra one is, you would get lost looking at it, I'm not gonna lie, but it is immensely useful if you're trying to build a game and you want to look at his stuff and try to cherry pick his stuff and compare it to the classes that you're doing and mold and mesh together, and at least you can be studying when you're not on the mats. Like, fair enough, it's the mat time that's going to get you proficient at a technique, but at least if you have some idea what you're doing, maybe you went to the class and you did the class and you liked the technique but you couldn't fully remember it, this will bridge the gap. You will find the technique in there. Let's say it's a takedown, let's say you're drilling single legs or double legs. You go home and you look at Bernardo Ferra's Foundations of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and probably in the first volume or the second volume it'll cover takedowns, and it will have single leg and a double leg, and you can look at that to your heart's content and drill down into it in your own time. It is brilliant for that respect. Now, what I'm basically saying, everyone, is work smarter, not harder. Like, when you get to master's level like myself and you get 30 plus, like, your learning curve is going to be slower, your body is going to ache more, so you have to take every advantage you can get, and studying instructionals is definitely the way to go. It's definitely a big advantage for your memory retention, and just try and learn. Just try and soak up as much knowledge as you can after class. Like, there'll be bits and pieces that you don't remember from class that this will just help help resolve whatever questions you might have as well. So that is one of the main reasons. Like for me, some nights I forget half the bloody stuff that I've learned in the class, and then you might end up rolling at the end of it, and you try to do these techniques and it's just gone out the window. You can't remember them. You're driving home in the car and you remember bits and pieces of it, but it's all muddled up and foggy and everything. At least if you go home and you have this sort of material at hand, you can go and you can cherry pick it out and review it and see where you went wrong and try to piece bits together. That for me as a beginner has been invaluable. I know I'm just digging into it now, but I'm about 5 volumes in now and my eyes are open wide to the possibilities. It's fucking crazy. Like, let's take the Bernardo Ferrer's Foundations of Jiu-Jitsu as an example. What you're going to learn from it is you're going to learn, well, you're not going to learn, you're going to reinforce your knowledge from your classes. You will be able to pick them up 10 times quicker than waiting for the next class and hoping to absorb more information and hope more of it sticks. At least then you can be looking at it when you're at home and doing your homework and saying, yeah, I understand this now, and coming back into class with a better idea what you're doing. It is also excellent for, as I said earlier, for planning out game plans, especially for beginners. Like if you want to be a guard puller, it'll go through a closed guard, it'll go through a half guard, it'll go through all your survival positions, all your dominant positions as well. It is great, and I mean great, for white belts and masters level. It seems to me like it's designed to get you from white belt to blue belt with a really, really good knowledge base. Now you will be what's the word I'm looking for? Jack of all trades with a master of none at the end of it, because you won't really be specialised. But you can specialise within his program, so which is very good. And it also slows down techniques. Like you might go through the class and you might spend 5 minutes drilling the technique and then you move on to another variation of the technique. At least you can stick there and you can watch it. And it slows everything down and he explains it excellently. It's very, very, very good. It's like watching things in slow-mo and you can take notes. You have to experience it to believe it. That is what you as an older grappler will get out of it, what you as a parent will get out of it. Someone with not a lot of time to give to the mats. Now, the last thing you'll get is a sense of confidence that you have some idea what you're doing. From going to the class and learning the technique and going back later on when you're at home and you're sitting down with a cup of tea and you are just studying what you have learned from that day. Imagine being able to bring a camera or your phone with you and being able to record the class. It's like that. Like, I don't know if your gym allows you to bring a camera and literally sit it up there and let the instructor talk. I doubt it, because you'd be taking money out of his pocket. But it's like that in a way. Like, you're gonna pay, I think Bernardo Ferrer's Foundations of Jiu-Jitsu, I think it's £100. It's half price now at the minute, so it's a steal at 50. So jump on that deal if you want it. And if you take my advice, I'd fucking jump on it fairly fast. Same for John Danaher, that's bloody free, so that's a recommendation all day long. But I am going to go on to the downsides now in a minute, guys. And they're not really downsides. There's only one major, and I mean a fucking major downside. But especially if you pick up the basic stuff from like the Foundations of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the John Danaher stuff, John Danaher solo drilling, that will give you a good 1 to 2 years amount of material for probably £100, there or thereabouts, if you pay full price. So I'm going to go over the downsides now. Now, there are really only 2 downsides to BJJ Fanatics, everyone. First one is the cost. Now, you can pick stuff up for £50, £100 when they're on offer, which is very good value. You'd probably pay that you probably pay that for private lessons, and now you have them all day, every day, just to look at them whenever you want. But some of the stuff I've seen on it, you can pay up to £1,000 for it. Now, for a family family man, family woman, or a single parent or something like that, that is, unless you're sitting on a mountain of money, that is unrealistic to a crazy point. Unless you save up a few pound every so often and pay it like that, but still it's a crazy amount of money to be spending on instruction. But that is one of the downsides. The other downside is that there is mountains, and I mean mountains, of material on BJJ Fanatics. It is very, very, very easy to go down a rabbit hole and get lost with the amount of stuff on it. It covers everything from octopus guard to the basics to fucking armbar variations, everything, every possible big name in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has content on this, and it is mind-boggling the amount of stuff that's on it. For me, I only have the John Danaher solos, and I have the Bernardo Ferraz Foundations of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that's going to do me for the next 2 years, hopefully to get me to blue belt. But yeah, they're the only two downsides. The cost on certain stuff. Some of the stuff is good value, and the amount of material. You're sifting through a mountain of material to find stuff that you want, unless you know what you're looking for and you search it. Yeah, you will be overwhelmed with the amount of material on BJJ Fanatics. But that's what it is. It's a wealth of knowledge at the end of the day, and you're going to pay for it. Unfortunately, you're paying for people's time, really. But when the stuff's on offer, you get it for 50% off. So you just have to weigh up. It's all time versus money, you know. And when you're a master's level grappler like myself, with a family, your time is scarce, to say the least. With kids doing activities and work, and your missus working, and then school and stuff like that, and work, and everything just gets in the way, and you might only have 1 or 2 or 3 days a week to train. This can bridge the gap, everyone, if you are so inclined and you want to knuckle down and study. That would be my recommendation. My recommendation, anyway, for all the white belts and the beginners out there, I don't care what age you are. If you're a young lad or a young lass, or if you're an old guy like myself, master's guy, master's girl, parent, family man, family woman, whatever, or if you're a grandparent, older guy, older girl, would be to invest the 50 to 100 quid in Bernardo Ferraz Foundations of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and John Danaher solo drilling. That's where I'd be putting my money for the first year or two. You'll have more than enough there to drill down into, and then once you progress, you can go on to the more advanced stuff. But that's where I'd be placing my money anyway. But yeah, this is gonna sound like a big promotion for Bernardo Ferraz and John Danaher material, but it's not, everyone. It's just my humble white belt hobbyist opinion for anyone who's interested. Hopefully someone will get something from this, and if you did like it, drop me a comment if you have any questions, or if you've done any of this, or if you have any of these materials, and let me know what you think of them. And subscribe if you got anything from this, guys. This has been the Patchwork Grappler. Stay safe out there and have fun. Bye bye. Take care.